Who sets a boss that will ultimately be pushed down by players working together? Who stipulated that the dragon must steal the princess's convergence treasure? As a dragon, one must strive to become stronger with a devout attitude. As a boss, you need to learn how to strategize your own dungeons. As long as I am the strongest, all the players who come in groups are lying on the board. Chapter 1. Today's dragon is different. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Looking at the pond, it can be considered a huge reflection compared to humans. Moga Kuru shook his head and remained silent. The reflection in the water also shakes along with it. The body of the black dragon is as black as ink, with only a pair of red eyes symbolizing a second color on its body. Ding. Dear user, the replica system is providing you with services. Please confirm today's copy, Dungeon Level 1. Goblin's Nest, Warcraft Forest. Outmost Tahiti. Extreme Edge Random. Under random selection, the reward acquisition is increased by 120%, and the dungeon's biological characteristics and skills must be dropped. Ding. The despicable, ugly, and weak black dragon. There is a new oracle in the oracle system, please check it in a timely manner. Ding. Dear player, the system has prepared a beginner gift package, first day check.in reward, and public beta reward for you. Please pay attention to receiving them. Ding. Dear user, the replica system has prepared daily tasks for you. Please check carefully. Moga Kuru Kastin Kurukawa Kurukawa Kurukawa. With great respect, I dedicate my insignificant strength to the great god of darkness, and do my utmost to contribute all the treasures of the world, and even my life, to the unparalleled beauty of Lord Arira. Although there were other strange things mixed in outside of the oracle today, as a black dragon tormented by the oracle for a long time without receiving the blessing of the dark god, I am well aware of the consequences of not responding to the oracle in a timely manner. Except for the oracle, let's put aside everything else for now. Okay, what is today's oracle? Mela dear. It's okay. Mwajia's humanized long sigh of relief. Today's oracle is very simple, it's nothing more than a weak but tender and bouncy little monster. Even in childhood, Maga can still unleash 6th level magic. It is still easy to use it to slay 3rd level monsters like the Mira deer. It's much better than a few days ago when Lord Darkness wanted the scepter in the hands of the Emperor of the Light Empire. With great respect. Respected God of Darkness, the beautiful and unparalleled Lord Arira, when will you be able to bestow blessings on me, who is despicable, ugly, and weak? You're so noisy, you idiot black dragon. When I eat deer meat, you'll receive blessings. And, Arira wants to eat the kind of roasted meat. Accept your instructions, great. The oracle has been interrupted, I don't know what kind of blessings the gods will give me. Mwajia dared not neglect, and after receiving a positive response from Lord Arira, he felt extremely relieved. The deity, who had been serving him for a long time, finally planned to descend and bless. Oh, by the way, does this oracle seem to have some strange things mixed in? Anyway, prepare the Merlot first, pop it. Lightly tap the dragon claw. Black dragon Mwajia has mastered one of the few magic spells. Who? A fist-sized flame erupted from the human body, enveloping the meridian deer, which had already been stripped of its fur and only had a flesh and blood skeleton. With precise control, the temperature and range of the flame are also constantly spreading. If Morgan knew the reality, he would understand that this is the dazzling skill in human cuisine. Barbecue. Who? It's really fragrant. Leave a copy for myself later. Mwajia originally did not enjoy cooked food, but he chose to serve the new generation of the dark god Arira, following the memories left in his ancestors' minds. Through his daily dedication activities, he was also attracted by this wonderful fragrance. Of course. This is also thanks to the spices offered by the merchants of the third great empire of humanity, the Ghanaian Empire. In their human words, sprinkled with salt and various seasonings, the taste of meat will become even more delicious. Those merchants did not deceive him as expected. If Lord Arira does not repent and truly receives blessings, it would be the first black dragon in the 100,000-year history of the Kuru Kastan black dragon race to receive divine blessings through his own efforts during his childhood. After finishing his busy schedule, the black dragon was completely unaware that he had become the cook of the gods. He worked tirelessly from morning to night to complete the divine edicts just to serve Arira's appetite, and even went against the decision of his ancestors to actively engage in transactions with the human merchants. If Kuru Kastan's ancestor Black Dragon knew, he must have been furious, right? Fortunately, the Black Dragon clan only has one Maga left, and other Black Dragons either died in wars with other dragon clans, were killed or defeated by so-called warriors and great mages, and some even became pets under the Dragon Knight's crotch. Great. With such a complex mood, Morga began to pray, all right, you can shut up now. Woohoo, these are all mine. Morga is already very familiar with the lively and playful voice of Lord Arira. And it's not surprising that the deer meat that disappeared instantly in front of the other side. Today's oracle has been completed. Through contact with other dragon races, he also knew that the Arira Lord, whom his race believed in, was the best speaker among the gods. Especially in the dark gods. Yes, the god of darkness is a collective term, and all dark gods can be called the god of darkness, followed by the names of the gods. And all the creatures on the continent, whether they are elves, humans, dragons, monsters, orcs, dwarves, even goblins, believe in gods in exchange for their blessings, which is their powerful power. And humans are a special existence among them. Because they not only believe in the gods, but also in the brave, those who have received divine blessings from birth due to talent or fate. They possess almost as much power as gods. And all of this stems from blessings. Woo-woo, it's delicious, it's so delicious. As a token of gratitude, Black Dragon, I will bestow upon you the blessings of Arira. Wow! Did God really bless me? For a moment, Maga was somewhat skeptical of dragon life. From the records left by our ancestors and our communication with human merchants, it is evident that obtaining divine blessings is extremely difficult. Shouldn't Lord Arira be planning on fooling me casually? Wow! Feeling uneasy. Maga felt an inexplicable force suddenly pouring into his body. Oh! Ding! Blessings from the Dark God. Lord Arira, thanks to Arira's blessing, you have gained a 30% increase in magic resistance across the entire series, with current resistance at 50%, immune to all negative effects except for divine attribute magic, significantly enhanced physical resistance, currently immune to 70% of all non-divine attribute damage, physical damage, significantly improve the efficiency and release speed of magic comprehension for dark, fire, thunder, wind, water, and spatial attributes. Roar. Maga can feel his power rising step by step. Due to the blessing of Arira, the current level of life has significantly increased, it has entered youth from childhood, it has returned from the general Black Dragon bloodline to the ancestral dragon bloodline, it has been upgraded from level 6 to 7. Chapter 2. The Blessed Dragon Fearless. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Today's wilderness is particularly noisy, with the excited roar of a dragon race that seems to be in heat echoing throughout the night. The second day. Great. Today's oracle is also extraordinary. It is a first-order monster on par with the Merlot, the jumping rabbit. Here, Qi Ming refers to the degree of freshness and tenderness of the meat. This is a warcraft highly praised by Lord Arira. Hee hee. The feeling of taking a bite of explosive juice is amazing. Woo-woo, I feel super happy after becoming a god, every day. Little Black Dragon, you need to work hard to improve your strength and bring me more wonderful food. Also, from now on, I will reward you for bringing me a completely different culinary experience every day. Woo-woo-woo, although I can't bless you anymore, if necessary, you can disturb me when I haven't enjoyed the delicious food, such as some deities bullying me with big things. Humph, because besides delicious food, I also love fighting. Thank you. Oracle interruption. Maga had great motivation in his heart. I have now become a loyal follower of Lord Arira, and Lord Arira values my strength, cooking skills, very much. I must work hard and become a strong leader of Lord Arira as soon as possible. 5-star chef. Dear user, the replica system is providing you with services. Please confirm today's copy. Dungeon level 1. Goblin's Nest, Warcraft Forest. Outmost Tahiti. Extreme Edge Random. Under random selection, the reward acquisition is increased by 120%, and the dungeon's biological characteristics and skills must be dropped. Ding. Dear player, the system has prepared a beginner gift package, first day check.in reward, and public beta reward for you, but you haven't claimed them yet. Ding. Dear user, the replica system has prepared daily tasks for you. Please check carefully. Now that you have received blessings, why don't you have time to see how to handle this? Isn't it another divine prank? Or is it a special opportunity given by the will of the world to intelligent life? Just like a hero of the human race, a saint of the elf race, or a demon king of the demon race. Morga remained vigilant about the sounds that sounded in his mind, except for the oracle, but was not surprised. This world is divided into divine, human, and hellish realms. Among them, the divine realm is the place where gods reside, connected but not connected to the human realm. However, there are also examples of certain deities descending clones or having their thoughts on believers. But most of the time, the gods will practice in the divine realm and rarely intervene in the affairs of the lower realm. Well, just because it's rare doesn't mean it's not. Some deities like to play pranks in the human world, such as a constant stream of extraterrestrial beings. They all died in their respective worlds for various reasons, but were introduced by the gods and arranged to be reborn into the human realm. They were also assigned so-called tasks by the gods, becoming entities that please the gods. Perhaps it's to save the world, defeat some demon king, or become a demon king, conquer the world, and so on. There are often such beings among the human and demon tribes, and they come in large quantities in the realm of hell. It is the place where the dead souls reside, and they need a long wait to usher in a new cycle and re-enter the human realm. The place where Morga is located is the human realm, and this is the Warcraft wasteland where the central continents Light Empire, Orcs Empire, and Ghana Empire intersect. Maga lives in an underground nest in the wilderness. Apart from him, there is no other dragon tribe within 1,000 miles. I believe that with the blessing of Lord Arira, other dragons who believe in the Dark God will not disturb this barren territory even though it is located in the center of the continent. But the gods, if it were a god stronger than Lord Arira, perhaps something similar to an oracle would descend into one's mind without being discovered by Lord Arira, right? Of course, it could also be a special instruction from the will of the world. Anyway, it is impossible for both gods and the will of the world to directly harm themselves in the human world. They need to lower their will on their followers, or lower their clones. Besides, I also have the blessing of God. So the question is, what are these choices? And there are rewards. What are check.in rewards, beta rewards, and beginner gift packages? Although they sound good, they always seem strange. Under the shaking of Morga, his head noticeably enlarged by a circle due to the increase in rank, his body has also grown significantly larger. So, claim it. No response. Ding. The system reminds you to obtain 1 storage space, 200 coins, 1 basic long sword, 1 basic magic amplification staff. What? At this moment, Black Dragon Maga fell into contemplation. The items that appear in front of us without any magical fluctuations are very in line with the practices of the gods. But is it rare to have a generous deity like Lord Arira? Thinking about my own body now. With just 1 blessing, one can possess top-notch magic dual resistance, dual attacks, and even leveling up and returning to life. Look at this guy who came out of nowhere and claimed to be a system. Storage space is a spatio-temporal item made by life beings who have reached the 8th level of understanding space magic or are born with spatial attributes due to their race's talent. It is usually used to store dead objects. And with such props, my ancestors left me one. Probably able to hold many, many Merlot deer. So, faced with this storage space bag that has been determined by oneself to only hold a dozen or so square meters. When Maga Dragon Claw challenged, he was very disgusted. It's like a piece of rag, throw it into your own bound personal space with your claws. Advanced space props are so simple and unadorned, yet exist in physical form. Aren't they afraid of being taken away by advanced life or thieves? And this? Was it the wrong shipment? This should be a weapon used by the human race, right? It only has a slight magical fluctuation, which is better than scrap iron. It seems that this is probably some adult's prank, making people mistakenly think they have found a treasure, but in reality it is a pile of garbage. And then watch the bewildered expression on the person being pranked. The evil taste of God, ding. Dear user, the replica system is providing you with services. Please confirm today's copy, Dungeon Level 1. Goblin's Nest, Warcraft Forest. Outmost Tahiti. Extreme Edge Random Ding. Dear. Please check carefully. Are you sure about today's dungeon? Maga is not sure if the voice that rings in his mind has his own consciousness, but after being blessed by Lord Arira, his courage has increased a lot. Anyway, he has nothing to do now, how about that? So. Goblin's lair. What will happen? Is Goblin the weak and tenacious low-level creature he is familiar with a strong desire to mate? Wow. When I thought about it this way, the massive figure of Morga was inexplicably pulled away by the power of time and space and disappeared in place. Chapter 3. This must be a prank by the gods, right? You are listening at novelfull.audio. When Morga regained consciousness once again, he was startled by the huge figure in front of him. The unknown black dragon, is it a higher level existence? Impossible, how could I, blessed by the gods, be attacked by higher level beings of the same clan? And the 8th level existence who masters space-time magic should not. This seems to be my own body. Oh. The black dragon in front of me is myself. Maga was startled and said, so now, my soul is detached. At this moment, Morga lost his composure. Dear user, please select your race and character. After completing the selection, you will take on the responsibility of the character of that race. You can leave the dungeon space by completing the task or completing the level. Note that you cannot use non-selected characters' magic and skills, but your additional effects such as traits and blessings will continue to be maintained. Do you want to start selecting now? Maga wants to find the speaker, because this time the voice is clearly not coming from his mind. Is this, the little world? Relying on the special space of the main world, it also has the conditions for survival. And it is possible to have rare resources and creatures in the main world. Maga has learned about it from ancestral records, but it is still his first experience. The situation in front of me is likely that I was brought here by some deity, right? The question is, why did the god Arira, whom I believe in, not stop me? Every day brings me a completely different culinary experience. Could it be that Lord Arira brought me here? I believe so, the blessings that belong to adults still exist. That's not a big deal. Presumably, Lord Arira has discovered a more delicious ingredient and needs to collect it himself, right? But if I remember correctly, is this the goblin lair? Start selecting. Thinking in his heart, Morga decided to follow the content of the voice. Human race. Nuns, archers, swordsmen, warriors, magicians. Goblin clan. Goblin, goblin mage, big goblin, goblin king, bow and arrow goblin, goblin wizard. Morga's soul twitched and said, Is Lord Arira asking me to incarnate as a human or goblin? Goblin's meat is extremely unpleasant, perhaps the ingredient that Lord Arira needs is human. Yes, in the eyes of many high-level beings, the human race exists as food. Just like the pursuit of dragon-slaying warriors by the human race, you eat me, I eat you, these two are obviously hostile. Then choose, Goblin. King. Without hesitation, Morga, who was familiar with the members of the Goblin race, chose the strongest existence in the Goblin clan. King Goblin. And, the Goblin King is the only life form in the Goblin race that can reach level 3. Okay, the selection has been completed, and that will happen. Wow. Just as Morga was curious about the next steps, he suddenly felt a strong sense of dizziness. Roar. What is this? Is it the body of King Goblin? This feeling is really wonderful. The familiar scales were replaced by rough dark green skin, and the humanoid body gave Morga an inexplicable sense of pleasure. Clench your fist, stretch out, and your green fingers are exceptionally flexible. Unfortunately, King Goblin is unable to use Esperanto. So, what is the task? Perhaps it was to overthrow the invading human race. Maga did not forget the task that the voice said. Ding. Current task. Lead the Goblin race to capture or defeat all members of the Killer Adventure Team, current 0/5, extra task. Lead the Goblin race to repel the attacks of all adventure teams. After completing the current task, you can choose to claim it. Task reward. Randomly drop character characteristics and skills, which can be optimized to fit the Black Dragon magic gamma of the main body. You can obtain 1 territory upgrade point and upgrade your own territory. After upgrading, your race will receive certain reinforcement. Extra task reward. Based on the progress of completing the task, you can obtain up to the sovereignty of this dungeon and gain loyalty from the Goblin race. And after choosing to bind to one's own territory, the Goblin race can be placed within one's own territory. So, where is the Goblin race? Roar. As the most intelligent, cunning, black dragon among the dragon race and blessed with advanced life from the gods, Morga quickly understood the mission requirements. Although I still don't understand what Lord Arira intends to do with this small world, completing the task will satisfy Lord Arira, right? Come out, Goblin's army. Roar. This is the voice that King Goblin remembers summoning his subordinates, and Morga naturally used it. And the few responses made Maga feel uneasy. Should not pop. Roar. The roar was filled with confusion. The ugly and ferocious King Goblin touched his head in distress. There are only 5 goblins in front of me. It's really what appears in the selection, an ordinary goblin that is short and thin, without even a first-order reaction. The height of human children is pitifully weak. Combat power is built on quantity. I don't have magic or skills. The Goblin Mage, who is slightly taller than the former and wears a tattered hooded cloak, can barely be considered a first-order life. Magic that I know there is only one fireball technique, which is about the size of an adult fist. Attacking on one's 7th level life form, can't even tickle it. The remaining 3, only Big Goblin and Goblin Wizards are decent. The Goblin Archer is not worth mentioning. The difference between him and the Mage is that he is an object attack, using bows and arrows to attack. It seems that if you want to win, you still have to rely on yourself. Roar. The roar of Big Goblin's voice roughly means hello or declaring allegiance. Big Brother Bryn has a burly figure, equivalent to the height of a human race of 1.9 meters, with a large arm and a round waist, a heavyweight athlete. Unfortunately, the magic resistance is relatively low, but the excellent physical resistance and recovery ability are also considered the pillars of the Goblin race. After all, unlike the rarity of King Goblin and Goblin Wizards, Big Goblin can basically reach a ratio of 1 to 1. In 100 ordinary goblins, there is a probability that a big goblin can reproduce. And if we rely on other more powerful races, such as human female adventurers and female orcs, to reproduce, the probability will be higher. These are all memories in Morga's mind. Racial memories from King Goblin. And the Wizard Goblin. He is considered a very rare goblin, with a probability of 1 in 1,000. Similar in appearance to ordinary goblins, but possessing rare divine attributes. Simply put, it is equivalent to a therapist in the human race. Yes, magicians and therapists cannot be confused. Roar. Ding. Tip. The intruder has entered the goblin lair, currently 427 meters away. While Maga lamented the weakness of the goblin, he also had to admire the potential of the goblin race. If we can break through the upper limit of the life class, goblins will be a powerful race. Unfortunately, it is ultimately impossible to achieve. However, now I have to lead them to defeat the human race, not because I am King Goblin, but because I am Morga Kuru, blessed by God. Arira's blessings are now working. This is why Morga firmly believes that this is the handwriting of Lord Arira. Chapter 4. Strange and Strange Names. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Woohoo. Children, come with me, let's go defeat the invaders. King Goblin currently possesses the following features. Wang Jiyu. As the King of Goblin, you can govern your subordinates and engage in barrier-free communication. The blessing of Arira, Roar. Maga's body is even larger than big goblins, and in this dark, cramped, and damp nest, even a slight mistake can touch his head. Indeed, it is a species with only lower intelligence, and such a nest limits its ability to exert itself. The main attack method of the Third Order Goblin King is physical attack, and his strength comes from his tall and robust body. Faced with low-level life forms that do not possess ranged or magical attacks, combat becomes extremely difficult once encountering such entities. Roar. Use low growls to demand silence from the goblins who follow you, in case the invading enemies notice. The advantage of Goblin lies in its quantity. But now the Goblin under my command, so, without an advantage in quantity, we can only rely on surprise attacks to defeat the enemy. They are here. The familiarity with the nest comes from the memory of King Goblin. It has to be said that Lord Arira's divine power is incredible. As the Black Dragon, my soul can perfectly blend into this weak body and proficiently use its skills. This is like my own body, as if I am the King of Goblin myself. Assault Maga transmitted his will to Bow and Arrow Goblin and Goblin Mage. So, the only two goblins in the team with long-range attack capabilities hid behind the rocks on both sides of the nest passage, ready to attack. Front row. Following the will of the king, Big Goblin stood firmly in the center of the dark passage. King Goblin is a natural king and leader of the Goblin family. As a high-level life form, Black Dragon also has combat memories left by his ancestors in his mind. The simplest way to deploy troops is to easily capture them. Support. The ordinary goblin immediately hid behind the Big Goblin. If the intruder's strength is not enough to instantly kill Big Goblin, then Little Goblin can take advantage of the interval between magic and bow and arrow attacks to rush forward and buy attack time for the slow-moving Big Goblin and Maga themselves. Yes. Maga has realized that the invading human adventurer team should also have the configuration that appears on the selection. In terms of numbers, the human race does not have an advantage. In this way, both sides have the same starting line. It depends on who launches the effective attack first and causes the opponent to downsize. Treatment. After placing the final Goblin Wizard, Morga hid in a squatting posture on the side of the Goblin King. At first glance, it seems that the strongest one is Big Goblin, because as a king, King Goblin cannot abandon his dignity and hide behind his subordinates. However, as a cunning Black Dragon, Morga's goal is only victory. Only victory can bring dignity. Be careful, the enemy is right ahead. Got it. I opened the shield. Slow down and prepare for negative effects. Got it. The Ice Elf. Magic Chant. It's first. Order magic. How did the enemy discover us? Maga was a bit puzzled, but only hesitated a little. For the human race, it is also very common for low-level adventurers to master detective magic. Even those humans who have traded with Morga and brought seasoning possess detective magic items. Attack forward. Morga has seen the white light appearing in the dark ahead. Is that ice magic? Roar. Upon receiving the command, Goblin no longer hides his own bow and arrow, and the mage immediately launches a surprise attack. Whoosh. Wow. Empty. Shield of Guardianship. Has the attack been blocked? Maga's heart sank, but he felt relieved. At the same time as the Guardian magic is released, Maga also perceives the number and rank of enemies, which are basically first-order combat power. And on the side of the Goblin camp, there exists their own Goblin King. So, is this a crushing bureau? Charge. Roar. Big Brother Bryn's movements were slow, but his steps were strong. As his body moved, fragments began to fall from the upper edge of the nest. Roar. 3 consecutive shots. A voice rang out from the darkness, which was exactly where the Guardian magic had just appeared. Big Brother Bryn raised his shield. Pop 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 pop. Charge. Ya. Ordinary goblins are fearless, with a shorter body that is more agile than big goblins. And not inferior to the massive figure it rushed out of, it was the demon possessed by the Goblin King. Not good. How could there be an elite monster? Ah. Isn't this dungeon a level 10 dungeon? My goodness, run fast, this is a level 30 elite boss. Sure enough, they are all women. I heard it from the magic chant just now. Maga's face was fierce, and this expression added a ferocious aura to the ugly and ferocious face of King Goblin. Roar. Ah. What caught the eye were several skinny women. Compared to their current physique. Lying trough, sisters, my blood bar is empty. Ah, how can I still get dizzy? Damn it, if I had known earlier, I would have called my boyfriend. How could this group of level 10 cute knew he'd a duck with level 30 elite bosses? Sisters, drink the healing liquid and run. Don't run away. Anyway, the equipment won't drop from the dungeon, wait until death. I lost it, can't I go offline? The replica cannot be exited. Forcing exit will drop the level and the replica key will not be returned. We can only wait until tomorrow to refresh before reopening the replica. Damn it. So noisy. Do human women talk so much nonsense? And I can't understand what they say. Morga gave up his attack, but he didn't expect to hit the adventurer team severely with just one blow. Who made them trust the warriors in the team too much and hide behind the protective magic she released? The costumes of these people, nuns, archers, warriors, are indeed like this. Paralysis. King Goblin issued an order to the late arrival Goblin Wizard. Hey! Why haven't we died yet? Aren't the dungeon bosses killing us? Strange, is there a bug? Woo-woo, they are so ugly ducks, and they smell so bad. The team of all beautiful girls fell into Waterloo on their first dungeon. All were beaten stiff, lying on the ground motionless. I can only watch helplessly as the wizard reaches forward and releases green gas. As the captain, the only swordsman in the team. The equipment with fragrant feet is the best in the team, all of which are standard bronze level. The exquisite and elegant body is more charming under the armor wrapping. And this swordsman is the highest level in the team. She was the first to realize something was wrong. My current state is numb and I can't move anymore. What about you? I'm the same. The nun in the team, also known as the therapist, held her chest and huddled in the center of the team, saying, Captain, I am the same, and I cannot release healing magic. Hey! Can't even the treatment be effective? Chapter 5. What Goblin will do with prisoners. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. What's going on? Will this failed dungeon strategy be tied up to restrict freedom? Probably. What should we do now? A group of female adventurers were all tied tightly to the pillars of the nest. It's quite a bit, defeated alien disgrace, art style. These female adventurers all have good figures as a reproductive tool for goblins. Should it be sufficient? How can I complete additional tasks if I don't increase the number of races as soon as possible? What makes these women even more uneasy is that the goblins, led by King Goblin, are all eyeing this place. Their greedy gaze made women increasingly uneasy. The oppressive atmosphere became increasingly heavy with the low gasps. The harshness and darkness of the nest further increased the psychological pressure on female swordsmen and others. Ding. Detected that you have completed the task. Do you want to submit it? Submit. Maga came back to his senses from his thoughts. He didn't forget the reward mentioned in the previous voice. Now, all 5 adventurers have been captured by themselves. Obviously, it can be considered as completing the task. Congratulations on obtaining Territory Upgrade Point *1, feature. Wangji Zong Yu, feature. Sacred Heart, roar. Maga was a bit skeptical. Because the sound told him that the so-called characteristics are like blessings, but there are both good and low effects. Moreover, the features can be directly obtained from one's own body. In other words, Black Dragon Maga can possess the command of a king belonging to the Goblin King. And the Sacred Heart of the Nun. The former has been optimized to ensure absolute loyalty to one's own family, race life, and slaves. And able to engage in barrier-free communication. That is, remote spiritual dialogue. And the Sacred Heart can significantly increase the speed of magical cultivation and release of magical attributes, as well as immunity to divine attribute magic damage. Is this the second blessing bestowed upon oneself by Lord Arira? For the Black Dragon race, the biggest nemesis is divine attribute magic. Moreover, Black Dragons are unable to master this type of magic. Unless special magical props are used, it is also through external forces. But now Lord Arira is simply too great. Maga sighed and said. He still attributes all of this to Lord Arira. After all, only the deities they believe in will distribute benefits to believers like this, right? Moreover, in Black Dragon's understanding, the legendary creator god, also known as World Will, cannot favor the evil camp. Unfortunately, the Black Dragon belongs to order and evil. As for the upgrade point of that territory, it must also be a very useful thing. Okay, the top priority now is, you have received an additional task, which has a remaining time of 3 days. The actual time flow during this period is 1 day. Attention, a large number of adventurers will invade the territory in 3 days. I'm sure the rewards for extra tasks won't disappoint you, will they? It's just 3 days, it's just a nap. The time flow rate is surprisingly different. This is indeed a small world, Lord Arira's small world. Alright. These things have been dealt with, so next Maga looked at these completely bound female adventurers with malicious eyes. Goblins, go and reproduce. After a dazzling radiance. Maga was shocked to discover that all the female prisoners who were under control and had not detected any space transfer items on their bodies had disappeared. And the speed was so fast that I didn't even notice it. Roar. The ugly face exuded indescribable emotions. Strange, Goblin just took off their pants. Why did the people disappear? Is that so? Is it because it offended the prey belonging to Lord Arira? No, the power that made them disappear just now was like high-level space magic, mixed with the aura of divine magic. Let me think, is it the goddess of life or the goddess of love? It is said that people from these chaotic and kind-hearted camps enjoy doing such self-righteous things, and they are no different from chaotic and evil people. Faced with his subordinates who became disillusioned after losing their prey, Morga could only command them to return to their lair to rest. During this process, he also thought of the reason why the prisoners suddenly disappeared. Perhaps these people were chosen by God as extraterrestrial beings, but the record left by the last appearance of people from another world is over 1,000 years ago, isn't it? Can only be explained in this way. If Maga becomes a higher level believer, he can actively make requests to the deities he believes in. Answering the doubts of believers is also an important way for gods to cultivate their subordinates. But not now. We can only wait for Lord Arira to take the initiative to issue the oracle. Since it is speculated that the disappeared prisoners are related to people from other worlds who have been passed down since ancient times, one must ensure sufficient caution in their subsequent response. The strong foundation of the goblin race lies in its population. Now, how should these miscellaneous soldiers follow me to repel the upcoming fierce attack, and what if the people who just escaped attracted higher level adventurers? While Morga was full of anxiety, as if anticipating his current predicament, a mysterious voice rang out once again. Ding! It has been detected that daily tasks match the current instance. Do you want to execute them? Roar! What does daily tasks mean? Are they tasks that appear every day? Roar! Claim! My intuition tells me that daily tasks can definitely solve my current predicament. And this daily task also belongs to the same voice as the dungeon task. It's different from the sound of picking and dropping inferior human weapons. Maga is limited by information, and he is not clear that the search sound is the player's server and system. Those inferior weapons are just beginner weapons. Ding! Please complete the construction of the defense works for the goblin nest. Tip: traps can be arranged according to geographical advantages. Current score: 0. According to the score, temporary limited time items can be obtained. The remaining time for this task is 24 hours, roar. Trap: that's exactly what I plan to do. The number and strength of the next invader will definitely exceed those of the previous escapees, so we can only rely on defensive fortifications to enhance our own combat power. Roar. Wizard, can you set basic traps? The traps here generally refer to magical traps. By using specific spells and consuming a certain amount of magic, arrange a delay-type magic in a designated location that can cause damage or negative effects on the trigger. Jia Jia. The voice of a wizard is different from other goblins. His intelligence is second only to King Goblin. That would be great. Chapter 6. The female swordsman launches a revenge battle against you. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Wow. Wizard Goblin waved his wooden magic wand, muttering complex chants in his mouth. Soon, a green liquid appeared on the path that the nest must pass through. And when the spell was sung, the liquid seeped into the ground as if it had dissipated. Roar. Has it been completed? Jia Jia. Yes, the great king. Look, this may be the only subordinate under his command who can communicate in Esperanto. I always feel like this goblin is different, although I think so, as a 7th level black dragon, the demon Jia, who is already considered outstanding in this world, was only slightly surprised by this. Breathing and wheezing. Other goblins can also set traps. Just ahead, as the arranger of the linkage trap, Big Goblin has already fallen deeply into the mud pit. Don't misunderstand, he's not trapped inside, but following the instructions of Morga to dig the lowest level trap. This is a deliberate flaw. Most adventurers are very cautious, and it is not ruled out that there are still a large number of extraterrestrial beings among them. They should all have exploration magic, reconnaissance magic, and so on. It is difficult to deceive them with ordinary traps, but I deliberately revealed a flaw, and there is a trap behind the flaw. When adventurers discover a large pit and plan to bypass or skip it, they will trigger the paralysis trap left by the wizard goblin. Taking advantage of their inability to move, bow and arrow goblin and mage goblin can launch attacks. Even Big Goblin has a chance to charge. The reason why Wizard Goblin surprised Morga was mainly because the other party could arrange various types of traps at such a low level. Paralysis is just one of them. There are also poisoning, mud, electric shock, and so on. He can use almost all negative magic effects. What a rare goblin. If you can break through the limits of your race, you are indeed qualified to become a subordinate of Morga Kuru. As for now, Maga is dull and tasteless. These are just tools for completing extra tasks on their own. Alright. The setup is over, and it's almost time. Can I claim the reward now, ding? Do you want to submit it? Roar. Yes, with a current score of 102 points, you have obtained limited items for dungeons and a beginner Goblin Horn. Goblin Horn, bronze level. A summoning magic item that can summon an equal amount of goblin troops based on the level of magic and injection. Limitation. The goblin army cannot exceed the summoner's rank, the disadvantage of insufficient quantity can be compensated for now. Roar. Magia waved the stone pillar in his hand. This is a new weapon he has prepared for his own body. Now, everything is ready, just wait for the enemy to arrive. While hoping for victory, Morga also had some worries. It's almost time for the oracle, why hasn't Lord Arira descended the oracle yet? Strange and strange, why can't we get in touch? And in the wilderness of the main world, in the black dragon's lair of Morga. A confused voice echoed for a long time. Dungeon, 4th day of Goblin's Nest Dungeon. Step by step. Step by step. Is that right here? As the knights, dressed in silver armor and shining brightly under the shining sun, pulled the horses outside the dimly lit cave. The leading knight confirmed to the female swordsman leading the way. Yes, that's right here. With fragrant feet, she waved her long sword forward, and the clear sound of breaking the wind mixed with her indignant voice. I'm so angry. How could there be such a boss in this game? After knocking us down, it's amazing. Damn it. The leading knight, who devoured his girlfriend's feet, once again restrained his warhorse and controlled his somewhat uneasy emotions. At this moment, he didn't realize that the sitting battle pet was not right. Focusing solely on communicating with his girlfriend, he said, this is probably a unique feature of the game, with 100% authenticity. You see, the emotions of War Pet are very real. Indeed, it's too restored. The game of conscience. Among the nearly 100 knights behind, many knights also exclaimed. Although the game has not been on the server for long, its playability and authenticity have overwhelmed its competitors, attracting a large number of game enthusiasts, landscape enthusiasts, check.in enthusiasts, and collectors to join. And with his own experience and abilities, he quickly pulled out a knight team consisting entirely of level 20 players in the game. And it has become the leading player guild in the 7th city, Novice Village, on the border of the Ghanaian Empire. There is also a resounding title. The Jade Foot Knights. I want you to take a look at the copy and help me and my sister's revenge. I don't want you to wonder whether the game is good or not. Besides, you single dogs, do you want me to push your sisters to you? The female swordsman's gaze was full of danger. The vice president beside the guild president, Black Silk is the redemption, couldn't help but brighten his eyes and said, Sister-in-law, you can rest assured. As for the nun with the best figure, you must introduce her to me. We have already agreed. The female swordsman covered her face and said silently, is it the one with the largest chest? No problem, but she's from Sakura Prefecture and she's a bit shy. I suggest you slowly chat with her from shallow to deep, from the surface to the inside. From shallow to deep. From surface to interior, thank you very much for your sister.in.law's teachings. Brother Jiao, let's enter the dungeon. Isn't there not much time left for the dungeon key? There are still over 3 hours left, enough for us to clean up. The president, known as the Foot Brother, waved his hand and said, Brothers, charge. Revenge. Ding, additional missions officially launched, a large number of adventurers have entered. Is that right? The massive body immediately blocked the entrance to the goblin lair not far away. Just like LV Fengxian, who used to wield a horizontal sword and fight against all the heroes on his own. Okay, Maga won't understand who LV Fengxian is. Last time we were all first-order adventurers, but this time it's only a third or second order at most, right? And as someone who is immune to divine attribute magic and has extremely high resistance to other magic, it's not really difficult for me to become 1 to 10 or 1 to 100, right? On that day, relying solely on low-level martial arts techniques such as dizzy strike with dizziness effects, all adventurers, including warriors, lost their resistance. So, unless there is someone higher than oneself, it cannot constitute danger, right? Step by step. Roar. Thinking this way, Maga felt a dazzling light shooting towards him. Holy impact. Guided by the holy light. Immune. Immune. Roar. Surprisingly, it's a holy knight. Isn't it possible to easily defeat them? Roar. Come on, weak people from another world. Maga is full of confidence. I originally planned to use strategy, but now it seems like it's like chopping melons and vegetables. Mist grass, how can you be immune to magic damage? Can't we? Is that the Goblin King on the other side? Shouldn't the divine attribute be critical damage? Mist grass, look at his attributes. My Nima, are the magic resistances almost stacked up? Don't panic brothers, knights charge. No brother, his physical resistance is almost full. Ah. If I didn't say it earlier, I won't be able to stop. Chapter 7. Will the Jade Foot Knights be annihilated here? You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Brothers, don't panic. Yuzu bless me, the knights charge. Crazy eating my girlfriend's feet, seeing all the divine attribute magic hitting King Goblin without causing a ripple, the opponent's health bar was even more unpredictable, and the terrifying physical resistance, magic resistance, physical attack, and magic attack attributes made him feel regretful. It can be associated with the black silk and Valentino promised by my girlfriend, and even the uniform of a search officer in the same style as in movies and TV shows. A fearless emotion arose, yes, for the sake of Jade Feet. If you are immune to divine attributes, then charge. Give me stack attacks. Charge is an exclusive skill of the knight profession. If there are mounts or battle pets, the damage caused by charge will also be higher. Moreover, charge is one of the few exclusive skills that combines damage and control, belonging to physical attack. Bula. A knight named Favorite Blonde Girl was the first to respond to Brother Foot's call. Come with me if you're a brother. Cut it off. The dungeon is not PvP, and the level of equipment that died in battle cannot be dropped. Brothers, for the sake of girls, charge brother, that's great. Jiao Ji's face was moved. Just because this brother shouted Dula, he was the first to use the charge technique and attack the Goblin King, who seemed to be intimidated by a few fierce roars. I admire your courage, holy knight, leave the divine attribute magic, it's not bullshit. As a special profession specifically designed to fight against monsters such as Black Dragon, Goblin, and Slim, the Holy Knight can only deal basic damage when facing opponents with other attributes or rare immunity to divine attributes. Maga punched out, taller than Big Goblin, his body resembled a mountain peak, and as he waved his fists, the knights felt as if it was getting dark. Favorite Blonde Girl, being hit by a punch, her body flies back faster than before, body disintegrates and splits, instantly dying in battle. That's it. For a moment, the other knights who were still hesitating or had not yet had the chance to use charge looked at each other. The ambition stirred up by the black silk wave suddenly dissipated, and an emotion called timidity filled everyone's hearts. Damn it. Let's all work together. Turn on Joint Strike and all members of a guild will form a team together. Using Charge Together will trigger the Joint Strike effect. Jiao Jiaogu was extremely anxious. Initially, he thought there was a chance of winning, but when he saw that everyone was like a mistress caught in bed, he was timid and couldn't help but feel angry. Hurry up. Are you really waiting for the guild to be destroyed? He doesn't have a full server announcement for guild destruction. Do you want to embarrass yourself to the international community? Missed grass. Men have many hobbies, such as liking women and saving face, which is called good men. And all the members of the Jade Foot Knights are fellow members of the same path. The knights who can shout the slogan Yuzu Yumi in front of NPCs and other players value face the most hay. It seems that something is wrong. In short, shouting slogans is not embarrassing, but if you are defeated by the boss team and still make a world announcement, it is embarrassing. Woola. Jade Feet bless me. I love Jade Feet. Roar. Nearly 100 knights, for the dignity of men, once again launched a fearless charge against the towering king of Goblin in front of them. Surprisingly, it made me feel threatened. Maga was startled in his heart. Originally, these knights in front of them were all around second level strength, but when they charged towards them together, they surprisingly had a third level or higher martial arts effect. Use props as a fearless black dragon, fearless of life and death. He decisively chose to use the prop that could summon the goblin army, ding. The prop has been successfully used, summoning the army as Big Goblin Pioneer Camp. Quantity 30. Woo 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 woo. Woo 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 woo. Woo 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 woo. Roar. Goblin shield strike. Just as Maga was planning to resist the charge of these knights, an invisible wave swept over his head like a falling meteor, crashing straight in front of him and charging forward without hesitation. Boom. Wow, step by step. The collision between huge shock waves caused the surroundings of Goblin's lair to shake violently. In the mist formed by the shattered and falling gravel and sand, tall humanoid creatures closely connected are moving forward step by step, like guards cutting through thorns, forming a perfect protective circle, protecting King Goblin. Maga in the center. The knights did not suffer much harm, but when they saw a goblin team emerging from the dust, they were stunned. Not my brother, so many big goblins. Inema, are all the silver level equipment in their hands? Did I see the equipment attributes? Or was it a set? Goblin Guard set. Grass, can also trigger additional effects. Can you choose Escape in the dungeon of the Bridge Bean Sack? Even if you forcibly log off, it won't work. If the dungeon is not completed or you exit the game midway, you will still be here next time you log in. So, is it still possible for me to lower the pain system now? Big brother, you can't perform such an operation in the dungeon. So, can we surrender? These knights, who had just shown the courage to survive in dire straits, would actually utter words of surrender and such humiliation. They are indeed those shameless people from other worlds. I really don't understand the purpose of those gods pulling these people into our world. Maga looked around at his subordinates and couldn't help but feel very satisfied. These guys just released their divine attribute magic and charge in a row, so their magic points should be running low now, right? Holy knights are different from wizards, as they possess both strength and magic. They cannot compare to traditional knights in terms of physical strength and single wizards in terms of magic level. And now, the members of the Jade Foot Knights are just as Maga guessed. Their remaining magic and strength are no longer sufficient to unleash magic or martial arts skills. Brothers, at this point, let's die more honorably. Jiao Jiaogu clenched his long sword in his hand, showing determination on his face, and his voice trembled with excitement. If the holy light cannot protect us, if even the jade feet is not enough for us to slay the enemy, then run quickly. If there is any remaining time in the dungeon, we can just hold on and exit. Step by step, under the determined, bewildered, and puzzled expressions of everyone, Brother Jiao Jiao Quickly pass through the crowd and escape towards the dark and disoriented lair passage. This, run quickly. Goblin King is cheating, it's not our food, really. Stop talking nonsense, run. Knight, charge. Grass, are you still taking blue medicine? Hee, don't you understand? As long as I run faster than you, I won't die. Chapter 8. Paralysis, delaying, poisoning, and chaos. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Goblins, go ahead and kill those people from other worlds who fled from the battlefield without any knightly dignity. When Maga reacts. The warriors of the knights have fled without a trace. But who can have Goblin familiar with this place? So he didn't hesitate to give instructions to the big brothers. Big brother Bryn separated, lined up in a row, and moved forward in pairs. Don't be fooled by their slow movements, as long as they control each channel, those people from other worlds will be like fish on a chopping board for human slaughter. Not to mention, the channel is full of traps, foolish and timid people from other worlds. Maga hesitated in his heart. Because in the records left by our ancestors, there are quite a few descriptions of people from other worlds. And they all emphasize the difficulty and strength of people from other worlds. Their strength is built on their super fast growth ability. Even on par with the brave. Growth speed. Perhaps it's a blessing from the gods. Or is it like me until now? Morga couldn't help but wonder who the voice was. It doesn't seem like Lord Arira. Who could that be? If the King's Command and Sacred Heart obtained by oneself still have an effect after returning to their original form, then, roar. Let's talk about it after it's over. Maga put aside his thoughts and shouted for wizards, and archers. As a brave black dragon, even if it is a safe bet to win, one must take their subordinates to hunt down their prey. Step by step. Don't run in the same direction. After the blue volume and strength are restored, they will converge with my coordinates. Those goblins must separate and catch us and seize the opportunity to attack one another. As the guild president, Xiao Gu naturally did not run away blindly. As a seasoned expert in games like this, Xiao Ji's actions are just to restore mana and strength. In his opinion, taking drugs is not cost-effective because their success rate in conquering dungeons is too low. Whether it's the sudden appearance of the big goblins or the bunch of entries, the unpredictable Goblin King with dual resistance, this dungeon requires at least 300 to 400 people to have a chance to conquer. Key Divine Attribute Magic Immunity, 2 pitfalls. After returning, you must recruit another group of knights with other attributes. Brother Xiao felt very frustrated in his heart as he ran and thought, otherwise, it would be too much of a loss. We need to develop in a balanced manner. Misty grass. Pushi, a strange sound followed by green gas quickly enveloping the body of Xiao brother. Nima, numbing effect. Brother Xiao only had time to say such a sentence, which could be considered as the anesthetic effect of toppling an elephant, making it impossible for him to even open his mouth. Damn it. What is the situation? Just as Xiao Gu was rushing to seek help from the guild channel, whoosh. He felt a sharp pain in his back. Ding. The chairman of the Jade Foot Knights Guild has died in battle, and all members will receive reduced rewards. Ah. Did the president fail? What's going on? Isn't it only possible for the guild president and vice president to do a joint attack? As a player familiar with guild rules, the knight named Sour and Stinky Goodhead was immediately confused when he saw the guild announcement. We're done with the ball now. It's impossible to defeat the Goblin King without a combo, unless we first deal with Big Goblin and then try to beat him. Misty grass. Lost in thought for a moment, Puzzy. A strange noise came from under my feet. Next up. The purple gas rushed into the nose of the sour and foul-smelling person. Without any accidents, he quickly fell into a negative state as well, poisoned. Damn it, my health. The upper brother clearly felt that his health was rapidly decreasing, and he didn't consider anything else. He quickly took out a red medicine bottle from his backpack and gulped it down. My Nima, the total amount of health restored has been reduced by half, it's a big loss. And the poisoning effect lasts for 3 minutes, during which he has to drink 5 bottles of red medicine to recover. For players, both red and blue medicine bottles are consumables and urgently needed items, which can be purchased through town stores, exchanged at adventurer guilds, or exchanged at their own guilds. There may seem to be many ways to obtain it, but the cost of either one is not low. Therefore, those knights just now couldn't bear to use the medicine bottle and relied on natural recovery. Fortunately, it's just poisoning, it doesn't affect my actions. Delayed for a while, the senior brother dared not neglect any more and quickly ran towards the passage. Sigh. As a result, a black shadow suddenly appeared in the originally unobstructed passage, and in a panic, the upper brother collided directly with the shadow. The force of the anti-shock directly bounced him away. Who? Roar. A roar made the upper brother realize something was wrong and he quickly wanted to escape. Ah. Bang. Big brother Bryn shook his thick wooden stick and ignored the corpses on the ground, then turned around and left. Wow! The white radiance fell, and the previously fierce upper head Gordon disappeared into the nest. Ah. How could there be such abnormal negative effects? When will it take to recover? Exclaimed in a collapsed voice, I want both black and white threads. I saw this knight walking forward with eerie steps, as if one step had already been paused. As if carrying 1,000 pounds of force, the body is so overwhelmed that it cannot move a single penny. Negative effect. Delayed. Although there is no harm, it can have a significant psychological impact on people. I'm really dressed up, if we keep going like this, we'll soon be caught up, said the naked leg of the meat. Both of me and my brothers were hit together, and there was also someone who didn't pick on my brother. They can be described as brothers in a difficult situation, and in reality, they are also CP. And now, we are preparing to go to the rhythm of the underworld together. Step by step. Play ball. The two of them looked at each other, and the footsteps behind them grew louder and louder. They couldn't help but smile bitterly at the same time and say, it's almost over now. Hey, hey, hey. What's going on? There are many knights who have been hit. Poisoning is considered to have the least side effects, as it only requires replenishing blood volume. I don't know what they are struggling with. Is it because they still have a lucky mentality in their hearts, always thinking they can win? I still have a trace of blood left. I can kill it all back. And paralysis and sluggishness are very abnormal. But the most abnormal thing is probably chaos, right? Taking a step forward, however, his body took a strange step backwards. Is that what chaos means? I finally realized what the negative effect of this first encounter meant. Pang Sage was angry when he saw that his partner was still admiring his toddler. Lao Tai, help me quickly. Wait for me, I'll take a photo. Take a screenshot. Unexpectedly, two close friends from the real world began to snap at themselves with the screenshot function of the system. Nima. I'm going too far, I'm so miserable. Pang Sage cursed on his lips, feeling extremely helpless in his heart. I hope Goblin doesn't come after me at this time. Chapter 9. Full Service Announcement. Jade Foot Knights nailed to the pillar of shame. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Roar. Jia Jia. Yahoo. Two knights, clutching their stomachs and wildly taking black photos of their brothers, turned back in unison. Whoosh. Whoosh. A small fireball rapidly magnified in the knight's pupils. Ah. Don't misunderstand. The scream was shouted by the chaotic, chubby brothers. He witnessed with his own eyes two bad friends being pierced in the head by bows and arrows, and their heads being blasted by fireballs. Big brother, don't kill me. At this moment, the chaotic and negative state that made people collapse disappeared. The fat brother has no way to escape. Surrounding him were wizards, magicians, and archers. Okay, that's not important. The important thing is the Goblin King, who is holding a big mallet, holding it in one hand, gently tapping the clay pot-sized palm with a humanized playful expression on his face. Is this something I can face alone? Lord-level boss, gone. What kind of insulting intelligence did that foolish woman provide? Little goblin. Little sister. The fat brother has forgotten that low-level players cannot see the intelligence of wild monsters with significant level differences. Besides being a boss. Such a cowardly guy is not worthy of the title of knight. When Maga saw the appearance of his prey, he felt bored. In the records left by their ancestors, those knights who dared to challenge the dragon clan had meaningless courage and a belief in fighting to the death. Even if their strength was vastly different, they would do everything possible to defeat the dragon clan. In records, there are also many defeated dragon tribes who became stepping stones for knights to advance to higher positions. Some were even overwhelmed and surrendered by the power of the dragon slayer knight, eventually becoming traitors despised by other dragons. Big brother, big brother. Me, can I leave now? Upon hearing these words, Maga couldn't help but show a grimace. Most of King Goblin's tooth roots were exposed, his sharp yellow teeth dripping with nauseating liquid, and his dark green eyes revealed ferocity and greed. And all of this, under this smile, becomes even more terrifying. Big and big. Bang. How could a brave black dragon have a little brother like you? Ding, all adventurers have been defeated. Do you want to receive additional task rewards? Roar. Yes, you have obtained the dungeon's first level. Goblin's Nest Dungeon. Are you bound to a territory? It has been detected that the territory has not been determined yet. Are you sure that Black Dragon's Nest is a territory? Yes, confirmed success. Binding successful. You have obtained Goblin Race Loyalty. You can view Goblin Race details through the territory details. Ding. The current dungeon has a 100% strategy and can be left at any time. Leave. Can we go back now? That's great. Let me see, can the King's Command and Sacred Heart manifest in myself? If it can really be achieved, then this so-called replica task must be taken seriously. Wow. The familiar dizziness reappeared. Maga could feel that his body was losing control. Gradually, I couldn't feel the presence of my body. This kind of confusion only lasted for a very short time. Familiar breath, familiar body. When he opened his eyes again, Maga felt the abundant magic and seemingly endless power. 7th level high-level creature, Black Dragon Maga Kuru returns. As soon as he returned, Maga immediately aroused his spirit. The dragon chant, who had originally planned to declare his strong return, also suppressed himself and said, "The great god of darkness. Stupid black dragon, why can't we suddenly reach you?" Looking at the black light cluster from an unknown source, the seemingly faint light contained a power that startled Morga's heart. Lord Arira, I seem to have been chosen by those mischievous gods, so. When Arira's voice questioned Morga, the latter understands that the so-called dungeon world really has nothing to do with Lord Arira. As a follower of Arira and also his own supporter, Morga explained his experiences with some reservations. Lord Arira should be able to explain to me what the situation is, right? As the god of darkness, her experience and outstanding wisdom, just as Morga was waiting with anticipation for Arira to answer for him. The other party replied in a long contemplation. Don't understand. Ah. There was a noticeable dullness in Maga's eyes. God, are there any inexplicable problems? However, as far as I know, apart from the old gang of the Creator God, no one else should be able to drag you into another world while you believe in Arira. Listen to what you mean. Have you ever had contact with that group of people from other worlds? Contact. Not just contact, I almost commanded Goblin's henchmen to bow and be female. The group also annihilated a group of nervous and cowardly knights who shouted, Yuzu bless me. Yes, Lord Arira. If there are rewards like blessings given, then accept them with peace of mind. Understood, Lord Arira. By the way, today I want to eat. Sigh Bullfrog. Follow your oracle. Then I'll patiently wait. No matter what the reward for the dungeon task is, Maga always remembers the needs of the Arira Lord he believes in. The communication between believers and gods will deepen as believers continue to complete the oracle and the gods respond to the calls of believers. In summary, this is a wonderful two-way journey. However, most of the time, due to the inability of believers to fulfill the oracle, such faith is either interrupted or trapped in a dead cycle. Compared to other gods, Lord Arira is really too easily satisfied. Step by step, Morga walked away from his lair with great strides. When he reaches the 8th level, he can freely control his body size and transform into a humanoid half-dragon form, which may make it easier to hunt agile prey like the Sai bullfrog. I remember before, there was a deity named Satan who wanted his followers to bring 30,000 pure and immaculate souls, and then the believer was killed by the brave human beings. Don't ask Maga why he is so clear. Anyway, the Kuru Black Dragon clan is like this, and in the end, only Morga is left as the Dragon Ding. Can Sai Nyo Frog be stir-fried with fire magic and chili peppers? Stir-fried bullfrogs make the gods drool after eating them. Well, the cooking techniques invented by the human race are simply treasures of the mainland. Unfortunately, without their hands, it would be better to stir-fry them physically. Wait, I remember, I have a group of goblin subordinates. Aren't they humanoid creatures? The question is, where are they now? Morga couldn't help but be stunned. Damn Goblin. Full server announcement. Human faction. Empire of Ghana. Guild of the 7th City, Jade Foot Knights unfortunately lost their team while attacking the first floor of the dungeon in the 10th level dungeon. Goblin's Nest. Full server announcement. Due to unknown reasons, the level of the first floor of the dungeon in the 10th level dungeon Goblin's Lair has been increased. The current level is level 20. In Chapter 10, you have become the boss of the dungeon, Maga. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Ding, the goblins are currently on guard outside the Black Dragon Nest. Magi instinctively gazes into the distance. The Black Dragon Nest originally occupied an entire mountain range. Originally, this place belonged to the Morga Kuru clan. Later, as the ethnic group gradually declined, they engaged in wars with other dragon tribes and not long ago. In the end, only the remaining young dragon Maga was forced to cede most of the territory that originally belonged to the Kuru tribe. The territory has significantly shrunk, and this area, known as the Magic Wasteland by the human race, has completely changed its owner. Even so, the area of the remaining Black Dragon's lair is not small. On the periphery, probably below that mountain. Let's go and take a look later. Call out. Numerous fireballs fell into this swamp one after another. Quack quack quack. Quack. Countless racing bullfrogs were scorched and forced to leave the swamp. And the black dragon on the shore skillfully knocked them unconscious one by one. These should be enough. Lord Arira's appetite is indeed quite large. The precise level of magical control allows Maga to use wind attribute magic to cut bullfrogs into pieces. However, this operation reminded him of the goblins. Mainly, he considered that he would definitely enter the dungeon mission in the future, and even if the time flow was different, he would still miss the daily oracle of Lord Arira. If Goblin could help, it would be able to meet the needs of Lord Arira in a timely manner. Actually, the human race is not impossible either. Maga pondered, but did not stop moving. The bullfrog, wrapped in egg liquid and starch, was constantly rolling in the flames. The addition of red pepper, oil, salt, monosodium glutamate and other seasonings quickly made the bullfrog emit a dry aroma that rushed straight to the brainstem. No, the human race is too cunning. Majia's gaze narrowed slightly. Although smarter than Goblin and better at this type of work, the uncontrollable nature of the human race made Morga hesitant. The great god of darkness. "Yeah, I'm here. Lu." The light descended, and the magic sung by Morga combined with the power of the gods. Enable this stir-fried bullfrog to reach the divine realm where Lord Arira is located by attracting light. By the way, did Lord Arira drool just now? Solve the most important thing. Majia planned to search for those goblins, roar. The inexplicable enthusiasm in his heart made him let out a joyful dragon chant. Then, something unexpected happened to Majia. Roar. It seems like countless responses coming from deep in my mind. Goblin. Is it under the command of the king? Morga attempted to sense the answer from within his own body. He can leave the dungeon world without the guidance of sound, and his feeling of the power of king's command is very vague. Originally, this was not a direct effect on magic or physical strength. But Morga could sense that the goblins were rushing towards this place. The roar I just made now, when I recall it, actually means summoning. Did you unconsciously use it? It's like an innate inheritance skill. Maga is looking forward to dungeon missions even more. Step by step. Wow. When Morga saw the goblins rushing towards him, there is a hint of confusion on the expression. Roar. It wasn't until a group of goblins knelt down that Morga realized. After binding, it will receive a certain amount of reinforcement. Is that what it means? Why does Majia show such an expression? The group of goblins in front of Gain, there are nearly 100 of them, most of which are big goblins. Moreover, the Third Order, which is uniform in rank, is already on par with monsters such as the Merlot. Combined with the combat power of Big Goblin, it is far from comparable to the herbivorous deer. More importantly, have you also evolved? Witcher Goblin, Archer Goblin, Magician Goblin, Ordinary Goblin. Surprisingly, each one has also become a third level. Of course, what makes Morga more concerned is at the forefront of the team, the Big Goblin King, who was kneeling respectfully on the ground but had a prominent body among the goblins. This guy's aura has reached the 4th level. Since that's the case, then you should continue to be responsible for the perimeter security work. By the way, do you have any female goblins among you? In some rumors, the goblin race is only male. To reproduce a population, one can only rely on other organisms, such as captured human women. There are also rumors that only Queen Goblin and King Goblin have the ability to reproduce within the goblin race, constantly singing day and night for the continuation of the race. However, according to Morga's understanding, goblins may vary due to racial differences, but basically there are females present. Roar. Oh, do you have it? That's good. Goblin Wizard, Goblin King, you stay. Other goblins, please continue to be responsible for the security work. Although there won't be any non-eyed guys invading the Black Dragon nest. Can we always find a job for the goblins? Follow me. With the help of the King's Command, communication between Morga and goblins does not require Esperanto at all. Yes. He is now going to teach the most talented wizards and the cooking techniques of King Goblin. When it comes to legend, I can give my subordinates names. Will their strength improve faster then? No, there's no need to wait until that time. As long as you can obtain territory upgrade points, you can strengthen the entire race. Maga has gained a basic understanding of that sound and dungeon rewards. Be more cautious when choosing a dungeon world next time. And if I didn't choose Goblin this time, but instead chose the human race, would those human adventurers also be loyal to me? Thinking of it this way, Morga thought of those nights again. Suddenly, the thought was dispelled. Forget it, those guys are not as good as Goblin. The Empire of Ghana, the 7th city on the border. How were you killed by the group? Within the guild headquarters, the female swordsman's emotions finally calmed down, but this incredible result still made her unable to resist asking. Unexpectedly, before the silent foot brother on the side could answer, a knight suddenly stood up, patted the table, and glared angrily at her. Xiang, that's too much. That Goblin King is a 3rd Order Lord level boss, and his dual resistance and dual attack are terrifyingly high, combined with attributes that are almost equivalent to 5th Order ordinary monsters. Our knights, who are all under level 30. By the way, that guy is also immune to divine attribute magic. Why didn't you tell us about this? The other knights were also immediately ignited with anger. The full server announcement was already despairing enough, but now the initiator of the guild's demise dares to ask about the cause of the situation. The key is that this boss can still summon Big Brother Bryn. I just saw the publicly available dungeon information. Originally, this 3rd level Brother Bryn King was also a hidden boss. I don't know why this guy came out early with a group of Big Brother Bryn. Hang Sage, who was finally killed, still can't forget the hammer that fell from the sky. I asked, and customer service said it's not a bug. This is purely a probability event.